Is Jean Grey stronger than Scarlet Witch? Marvel's most powerful women explained. Warning. Spoiler warning. Before we begin, this video contains spoilers from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and discusses the Phoenix Force, House of M, and other major Marvel storylines. We'll compare Jean Grey and Scarlet Witch at their strongest, explain who is actually more powerful, and settle one of Marvel's biggest debates. With that said, let's get started. Ever since Jean Grey made her MCU debut in Spider-Man Brand New Day, fans have been asking one question. Is Jean Grey stronger than Scarlet Witch? It's one of the biggest Marvel debates. Both characters can destroy cities, both can manipulate reality in different ways, both have powers that even the Avengers struggle to understand, and both have completely changed the Marvel Universe. But if these two Omega-level heroes fought at their absolute strongest, who would actually win? The answer is much more complicated than simply saying Jean Grey or Scarlet Witch, because it depends on which version of Jean Grey you're talking about. Let's break it all down. Base Jean Grey versus Scarlet Witch. Let's start with Jean Grey without the Phoenix Force. Even without her cosmic powers, Jean Grey is already one of the strongest mutants ever born. She's classified as an Omega-level mutant. That means her potential has virtually no known upper limit. Jean possesses incredible abilities. She can read minds, control thoughts, create psychic illusions, move enormous objects with telekinesis, communicate across incredible distances, even battle enemies entirely within the astral plane. Those powers alone make her one of the X-Men's greatest heroes. But then there's Scarlet Witch. Unlike Jean, Wanda doesn't rely on mutant psychic abilities. She uses chaos magic, and chaos magic is one of the most unpredictable forces in Marvel. Instead of simply reading minds, Scarlet Witch can alter reality itself. She can reshape probability, rewrite magical laws, destroy spells, create entirely new realities, and bend existence according to her will. When comparing these base versions, most Marvel fans agree Scarlet Witch usually has the advantage. Her reality-warping abilities simply operate on a larger scale than Jean's natural mutant powers. Everything changes with the Phoenix Force now. Here's where the conversation changes completely. Because Jean Grey has something Scarlet Witch doesn't, the Phoenix Force. The Phoenix Force isn't just another superpower. It's one of the oldest and most powerful cosmic entities in the entire Marvel Universe. It represents life, death, rebirth, creation, and limitless cosmic energy. When Jean fully bonds with the Phoenix, she stops being just an incredibly powerful mutant. She becomes something far greater, a cosmic being. Suddenly, her telepathy reaches across galaxies. Her telekinesis can move worlds. She manipulates matter, energy, time, and even life itself. At her highest level, Jean becomes the legendary White Phoenix of the Crown. That's widely considered one of the most powerful forms any Marvel character has ever achieved. Scarlet Witch's greatest feats. Of course, we can't underestimate Scarlet Witch, because Wanda has performed some of the greatest feats in Marvel history. The most famous comes during House of M. After suffering unimaginable emotional trauma, Scarlet Witch speaks just 3 words: "No more mutants." Those 3 words reshape reality. Across the planet, millions of mutants lose their powers almost instantly. It's one of the single greatest displays of reality manipulation Marvel has ever published. But that's only one example. Scarlet Witch has also defeated the Avengers, overpowered powerful magical beings, altered reality on multiple occasions, and challenged cosmic-level threats. When Wanda loses control, entire universes can be affected. That's why so many heroes fear her power. Jean Grey's greatest feats. Now, let's look at Jean, especially when the Phoenix Force is involved. Jean has battled cosmic entities, defied death itself, returned from destruction multiple times, manipulated life on a universal scale. And in some stories, she exists beyond ordinary space and time. The White Phoenix isn't simply another superhero. She's often portrayed as one of the fundamental forces of existence. That puts Jean into a category very few Marvel characters can even approach. Characters like Galactus, the Living Tribunal, or Eternity operate on similarly enormous cosmic scales. That's the level we're talking about. So, who actually wins? Here's where things become interesting. If we're comparing base Jean Grey against Scarlet Witch probably wins. Her chaos magic gives her too many unpredictable advantages. Reality manipulation is simply more versatile than Jean's natural psychic abilities. However, if we're talking about Jean Grey with the full Phoenix Force, the balance shifts dramatically. Most comic book fans and many Marvel writers place Phoenix Jean above Scarlet Witch. Not because Wanda is weak, far from it, but because the Phoenix Force exists on an even larger cosmic scale. Jean isn't just controlling reality, she's connected to one of the universe's oldest cosmic forces. Why Marvel never gives a definitive answer? One thing many fans forget, Marvel rarely gives permanent answers to questions like this. Power levels constantly evolve. Different writers emphasize different abilities. Some stories portray Scarlet Witch as nearly unstoppable. Others focus more heavily on Jean Grey. The exact outcome often depends on the storyline, the circumstances, and which version of each character is appearing. That's part of what keeps this debate alive. There isn't one official answer that settles it forever. What about the MCU? Now, let's talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right now, the answer is much easier. Scarlet Witch is stronger. Why? Because the MCU has only just introduced Jean Grey. She hasn't unlocked the Phoenix Force. She hasn't reached her comic book peak. She's still learning what her powers can truly do. Scarlet Witch, on the other hand, has already demonstrated reality-warping abilities capable of affecting entire cities and even multiple universes. At this moment, MCU Wanda clearly has the advantage. But that could change. If Marvel eventually adapts the Dark Phoenix saga or introduces the White Phoenix, Jean Grey's power could surpass almost every hero currently in the MCU. What could happen in future MCU movies? This is where things become incredibly exciting. Jean Grey's appearance in Spider-Man Brand New Day feels like just the beginning. Marvel hasn't even introduced the Phoenix Force yet. That means audiences have only seen a fraction of Jean's true potential. Imagine what happens if Marvel eventually adapts stories like the Dark Phoenix saga, Phoenix Resurrection, or the White Phoenix of the Crown. Suddenly, Jean Grey wouldn't simply be another member of the X-Men. She could become one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's why so many comic readers are excited. The best of Jean Grey may still be ahead. Final thoughts. So, is Jean Grey stronger than Scarlet Witch? The answer depends entirely on which Jean Grey we're talking about. Without the Phoenix Force, Scarlet Witch is generally more powerful. Her chaos magic and reality-warping abilities give her the edge. But once Jean fully embraces the Phoenix Force, everything changes. She becomes a cosmic entity capable of manipulating life, death, matter, energy, and reality itself. At that point, many Marvel fans consider Jean Grey one of the most powerful characters ever created. As for the MCU, Scarlet Witch still sits on top, for now. Because if Marvel truly plans to bring the Phoenix Force into live action, the balance of power could change forever. And that may be one of the biggest stories the MCU has ever told. So, what do you think? At their absolute strongest, who wins? Phoenix Jean Grey or Scarlet Witch? Let me know your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Marvel, X-Men, and MCU explained videos. hidden details, power comparisons, and ending breakdowns.